I'm BBM, and this is Chapter 4 of my Tearing Saga 0% Growth playthrough. So you guys have probably seen now that I've sped this chapter up. After the last two chapters, I realized that I just can't speak for like 15 to 20 minutes. And the maps in Tearing Saga are pretty big, even early on. Anyway, so now we get to see Neron promote. His promotion games, as I've hinted at, are absolutely ridiculous. With that, he just became like the best character in my team. So you see that we got a new Pegasus Knight this chapter. Mater is pretty good. Her base strength stat is a little underwhelming, as you might expect. Flyers are good, of course, but they're not quite as good as they are in a lot of other games in Tearing Saga, just because although like mounted units are still quite good, to Tearing Saga's credit, they do a fairly good job of making sure that flyers aren't really better, significantly better anyways. There's just a lot of bow using and enemies and a lot of ballistas in maps. This map especially, you can see it's a lot of forests, and you would think that Mater would be really good, but almost every enemy in this map is an archer, so she ends up being just okay. Anyways, you're probably wondering now why we got Sasha along for this chapter. That's because she's necessary to recruit a character in the top left of the map. We can see, you probably saw Neron kind of rushing there earlier. That's because the village where this new character resides will get destroyed by turn 4 or 5, and it's pretty much necessary for a mounted unit to full move every turn to save that village. On a side note, I actually quite like the design, the map design for this chapter. There's a lot of different things going on. So first, you got to escort a rather weak Sasha over to the top left. You gotta rush there to save the village so you can recruit a character. Then there's a physics staff in the bottom right, which you probably want to get to. And then the most interesting thing about this map are the bosses, Roger and Mel. So they are recruitable characters, but they can't be recruited this chapter. They'll join us in a couple chapters, so we can't kill them. Otherwise, we won't be able to recruit them later. So you kind of have to maneuver around them. One of them, Mel, is a troubadour, and troubadours in this game can't attack at all. They can only heal, and they can't promote either. However, Mel is going to be a very useful character later on, for reasons that we will talk about when that time arrives. Roger is also going to be pretty good just on account of being, an 8-move paladin with promoted stats and all that. You've probably seen that, like, other than our our good combat units, such as, Bart's, Neron, and Raffin. Every character I've brought along on this map is female. That's because Roger in this map will not attack female units, so you can just surround him with female units and he will not attack them. So it's just good to block him off, because his stats are pretty decent. Like, Neron and Raffin could probably take him, but he's much better than most of my other units. The one thing I dislike about this chapter, in terms of map design, that I forgot to say earlier is, there's, other than archers, there aren't a lot of other units, and I feel like it would have been a lot more challenging if there were. Anyway, so now we just recruited Vega. Vega is probably going to be used long term for one main reason, and that is his preferred weapon, Shram. It is absolutely amazing. It's got pretty decent might for a sword. It's got quite high crit, and it has a special effect that halves all damage that Vega takes. So later on, he's actually gonna have really good durability compared to a lot of other units because he's just gonna take half damage with the Shram equipped. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna try to get him to promote. So he's pretty much the main person I'm going to feed experience to now. At least enough to get him to level 10. I'm probably also going to feed some to Mater to get her to promote if I can. I don't know exactly how useful it'll be, but it can't hurt to have a second flyer along with Raffin. And on enemy turn, now we see that Roger and Mel decided to go towards Raffin and Mater, which is kind of weird because normally they go straight up. I don't think I've ever seen them go to the right, but then I've also never really moved that fast in that direction, so they might have just seen that it took them less moves to reach Mater and Raffin because of the road than it did to get to Runin and Vega through the forest. Anyways, you saw like Vega crit blood that archer. Vega's pretty awesome. Yeah, anyways, that enemy in the middle, the promoted swordmaster, or not swordmaster, like fighter mercenary unit, he's probably the only threatening unit in this map other than Roger. But yeah, anyways, I just Vega weakens him quite a bit, and I just have Runin finish him off. Like I could have had Vega finish him off there for the experience, but it's not like Vega promoting is as necessary as like Neron promoting, and Vega's gonna have plenty more combat opportunities than Runin is, since he can actually like get his own kills. Yeah, other than that, there isn't really too much going on in this chapter. It's more difficult when Roger goes up, because then you kind of have to have Runin like take a path around him. But since he went to the right, Runin pretty much can just go straight. Yeah, you just have Mater play a little interference there. And now we got Raquel in the top left. So Raquel is that like that early game sniper you get a lot of the time. Like I talked about earlier in Ruka's recruitment, when I was talking about Ruka, Raquel cannot kill human units. Whenever she attacks a human unit that would be killed by her, she just leaves it at 1 HP. However, she can kill monster units, so she's gonna see a lot of use on monster chapters, but not that much on regular chapters. Anyways, that's chapter